What up, everybody? I am here with Miss Jazmine Osborne, IFBB Pro in bikini, and my dear friend, as well as someone that I've worked with that, we've had a little bit of a journey together. And this is my champion, guys. So I wanted to introduce her to you guys. Jazmine, can you introduce yourself? Where are you from? And let's talk about how you got started.
All right, my name is Jazmine Osborne. I am from Los Angeles, California, San Fernando Valley. I got started, how did I get started? I did my first competition in 2015 as something to just push myself. I've always been active, wanted to kind of get to that next level. So I did it as a bucket list type thing, one and done, not so much. Kind of got hooked. I had to take a little bit of time off because I still was in school, and that comes first. So took a little bit of time off, but got back in it. Did my second show in 2017. Still couldn't give it my everything. So I took some time off again, came back the end of 2018, and that's when I really got started and took off.
So, so who was the first person that you saw where you were like, okay, I'm interested in doing that?
So it would have to have been probably India Paulino, and just seeing her confidence and just the way she moves on stage, the sass that she has. It was, oh my gosh, like I want that, you know?
Yeah, she's amazing.
She is.
Yeah. So she was like the first thing that made you say, okay, I'm interested in that sport.
Yes,
you know?
Definitely.
So where bikini is concerned, it's like, I think a lot of people get the misconception that bikini athletes don't train, that it's something that is like just, God-given, like they just step.
Genetics.
Tell us a little bit about like when you decided to, in 2018, to make that jump into like really taking it serious. What did that look like for you? Like, was it your training? Was it your nutrition? Like, what was it that you needed to change in order to take it to the next level?
So 2018, I did Muscle Contest Iron Games, which is a November show. Leading up to that show was probably the first time that I really was able to have my hands on everything and have full control with the training, the drinking water every single day, at least a gallon, the nutrition, the making sure that I had all my meals ready for that day, that morning, knowing that if I did that, I would have no excuses throughout the day, and just being on top of everything. In the previous shows, I remember, all right, well, I stayed up late last night because I have a final or a midterm tomorrow, and oh yeah, I still need to grab my food, and I'm gonna be on campus from this, but I need to eat, and it kind of got chaotic at times. But 2018 was the first time that I felt like I was ahead of the game.
Right, and so going from 2018, when you first started taking it to the next level, how were your placings? Like, what was the difference in the shows? Like,
so 2018, I placed, in novice, I placed first. In open, I placed third, so I wasn't quite nationally qualified yet. But it kind of gave me that push. It was the best placing that I placed. It kind of gave me that push that, all right, you're so close, go for it. So let's fast forward to 2019. My first show of that year was June 1st. And for that prep was different than any prep that I'd done before. Just really being able to be on top of everything and giving it literally 200%. And seeing the results throughout the way, seeing that, okay, at 5 weeks out, all right, I'm getting some abs, and this usually isn't happening till 2 weeks out. So that kind of, I mean, seeing the results kind of helped me throughout the way.
And so in June,
Yes.
what was your placing in that show?
June, that was the Anaheim Fit Expo. I took first in novice and then took home that overall. In open, it was a battle. It was between, I ended up taking second. It was between a very seasoned, I mean, she had been competing and killing it for years. She had multiple overalls, and just being on stage with her and seeing, all right, well, it's between me and her. You know, they had us line back up and pulled us back out and did the whole pose off, and just being on stage with her thinking, all right, it's coming down to the wire, kind of really encouraged me. Like, all right, you're there.
Wow, okay. That's awesome. So I love how you pay homage to the other competitors too. That's something that's kind of rare in the sport. And one thing that I always observe about you is your humility, even though you're slaying people. You're humble in the middle of slaying people. So let's fast forward to how you got your pro card.
All right, so did that show June 1st. I had another show exactly 4 weeks after that. That show actually is really what kind of changed everything for me. It was the first time doing a show that I had to travel up north to the Bay Area, and did that by myself. And oh, I'm sorry, that was Vegas. Did that by myself, which I was thankful for because it forced me to be backstage and talk to other people and meet people and be a little bit more independent backstage. And in doing so, I met someone who really had my back, and I really appreciated that. And she came up to me and was like, I just wanted to introduce myself. My Instagram name is this. I have been following you for a little bit, and I'm just a really big fan of your physique. And we just became friends, you know, started talking, became friends. So that show, I ended up taking the novice overall and first place in my open category for the very first time. Ended up getting second place in the overall battle. So after that show, I'm going backstage, cleaning up our mess. I run into this friend, and she had said, all right, well, USA's is in exactly 4 weeks. You're doing it, right? And I was like, this is my first win. I don't know. And she was like, well, you literally just won the show. Are you crazy? So she talked me into doing it, which I didn't think I was ready for, but it was just the push I needed. Mm-hmm. So going into USA's that year, I was terrified. It was the biggest show. Right. It was my first national level show, my first show. So going into that show, I was glad because she was there as well, as was a couple other friends that I had met throughout the way, and it was an amazing weekend. But the goal was to come to get my pro card, to win first or second place, and that wasn't the case. So I ended up getting, I believe it was 15th. The top 16, the top 15, I guess they place. Everyone after 15 is 16th place. So there were 30-something people in my class. Ended up getting 15th. I was a little bit discouraged by that, and then that's when Conjo, you entered my life, and you kind of showed me that 15th in a show that big is great. That, you know, they noticed you, they saw you. Now let's get to work, and we'll push forward.
That's right.
And so that's exactly what we did. We got to work for 16 weeks and came back to nationals, NPC Nationals, which was in Miami, and that's my favorite show.
Right.
My favorite play. Oh my goodness! But first time in Miami too. So that show, did that show in Miami and ended up taking first place.
Wow. So that's so crazy. Like, so literally, you went from 15th place, from winning 15th place. We're gonna say winning because you beat a lot of people.
Yeah.
To winning first place in a national show that is actually a huge show.
Oh, yeah.
And I had the honor to be able to, in 16 weeks, to kind of help guide the ship. But the ship was already beautiful. It was just about detailing the ship. And it was one of my prouder moments. I just have to tell you that. It was one of my prouder moments. And you are one of my favorite people to work with. That's why I wanted to do this feature on you. Another thing that I want to cover on this feature is in terms of what it takes to do bikini. What is your regimen in terms of like eating? Let's take the nationals for instance.
Okay.
Like what does it take to be a bikini pro? Eating wise, training wise, like what does it take to actually do this thing for the young girls out there who are looking at you and they're like, I want to be a pro one day. Like, what does it take to be a pro?
So, all right, I'll talk about eating first, or
Okay.
I guess I'll just go through a day. So, this would be going into nationals. I typically would wake up about 6 a.m. and go straight to my fasted cardio, get that finished, and then hop right into...
How long was
meal
that
one.
fasted cardio?
Fasted cardio, usually about 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
20 to 35 minutes, I believe. So after fasted cardio, go right into meal one, which with you was a pretty big meal. That was, I mean, we were eating steak for breakfast, we were having eggs, we were having steak, we were having blueberry. I mean, it was great. Some oatmeal. I was fed. It was amazing. That's, to me, what's funny too. A lot of people think, all right, well, bikini, it's the smaller of all of the groups, so they're probably eating, salads and lettuce and whatever. I was eating. I was eating a lot. We had to fill out this body. We had to build these muscles, and you're not going to build, I mean, really, if you're not eating. You need to have the proper fuel.
That's right.
So I would have meal one, I would have meal two, and then I would go into training. And training, I mean, including cardio, post-workout cardio, can be anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. And sometimes I would even break that up. So I would do my training session, then I would go and then do cardio after. And the rest of the day would be really just eating. Six meals total. My last meal was literally, sometimes it was on my nightstand and I'm, drinking my protein, having my blueberries, whatever it was that needed to get down.
And training for bikini, like, I think people think that it's all like a bunch of circuit training and things like that. What was your training like?
So, I mean, heavy lifting, lots of repetitions. I mean, it switched up depending on how far or close we were to the show. But I mean, it was hard work. It was. I remember we were training one day, and you had a little old lady come and say, "You know what? You need to take it easy on her." And you're like, "No, we are training. We're here to win. So we're pushing.
Right.
We are lifting. We're going hard."
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. The only thing that would change, I guess, would maybe be toward the end. I'm not lifting quite as heavy. We're not making PRs. We're just kind of getting blood flow in those muscles and keeping them full until show day.
Right, perfect. And so we have an upcoming show. What's next for Miss Jazmine Osborne? What does the future hold for her?
So right now, it's been quite a year. So I was hoping to have done a little bit more this year, but with everything going on, I mean, thankfully that there are still shows going on and that there are people willing to work with us athletes to make sure these shows go on. The next one that I have planned is December 5th. the Arizona Pro, Wings of Strength Arizona Pro, which is actually moved to Vegas this year. So we're aiming for that one.
Awesome sauce. Well, Miss Jazmine Osborne, thank you so much for doing this interview with me, with little old me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, and I love you and I appreciate you. And you are the example of what a bikini athlete is supposed to be. And I do emphasize athlete because there's no difference in how you train than any other professional athlete that I know. So for those out there, she is an example. Please follow her. What is your social media? What are
Social media on Instagram, I am at princess_Jazmine, Jazmine.
All right, perfect. So you guys go and follow Miss Jazmine on Instagram. Ask her all kind of questions. Flood her DM.
Please, come on.
But make it fitness related, guys. All right, and thank you so much, Jazmine. I look forward to what we're gonna display on stage next. Okay, love you much.
Love you.
Signing off, guys.